Hello. This channel I have started mainly keeping in view the board preparing student for the 2021. And Because of the COVID in the lockdown, you may want to revise, so I have started it now. So I'll be uploading the various theoretical parts and also some applications. So please view them regularly if at all you have missed directly with me or anywhere. And Also make a proper notes of that, and please like, share and subscribe. The soft iron core, the permanent magnet here, okay, and the coil here, and the hairspring, and the scale in which it's going. Yesterday we had discussed about this, and this we called as a galvanometer. Okay, it's a galvanometer, and it can sense the current. Whenever current passes through this, then it shows a deflection. So we'd seen this yesterday, and we also proved that BINA is equal to K phi, where phi is the deflection and BINA is the magnetic torque. So we can get deflection is equal to BAN by K into I. That's what we had discussed yesterday. Now we'll see how to convert this galvanometer into a ammeter. Ammeter is a device which measures current. Okay, and it is nothing but a galvanometer, but made to measure the current. The scale is calibrated according to the current. This galvanometer has also got some resistance. Okay, directly if you use it, the galvanometer may damage because of large currents. So therefore you connect a small resistance in parallel to the galvanometer. Parallel, you will connect a small resistance in parallel, so that whatever the current, most of the current passes through this, and a small current flows through the galvanometer. It is protected. Mind you that this galvanometer is connected in series in a circuit. In series, so current comes, the whole current comes, bypasses here through the shunted. It is called a shunting process. This is also called as a shunt resistance. The current passes through this, and what you call, most of the very less current passes through the galvanometer, and we have got what you call uh, it is, the galvanometer is not damaged, we can say. Still it can be measured. How we will develop the equation, and remember, when I show the equation, I am referring it to this figure, and we are keeping this ammeter in series. Ig is the current flowing through the galvanometer, total current coming is I. So the current passing through this shunt resistor is I minus Ig. I minus Ig. So Ig is flowing through the galvanometer, and Rs be the low resistance connected in parallel, that is S for shunt. Rg be the resistance of the galvanometer only. So Ig into Rg, galvanometer current into resistance of the galvanometer, is equal to I minus Ig, the current passing through the shunt resistance, into Rs. Okay. Now these two are equal, so we can make out that series resistance is equal to what you call Ig into Rg by I minus Ig. So the manufacturer will be knowing in this five what you call variables, Rs, Ig, Rg, and I and Ig. Four he'll be knowing. The fifth one, like for example, shunt resistance, can be calculated. In our numerical problems also, we'll be given four knowns. The fifth one be unknown. We are asked to calculate. So we got to remember this expression. After proper understanding, we got to remember this expression so it can be applied at any instant in the numericals. Sometimes two unknowns are given, then we call it as a difficult question. Then the another what you call variable can be like one unknown can be, there is a way in the numerical given to find out one unknown, so that we are left with the last unknown to be found out. Okay, children. So this is the equation we have got to remember in the case of an ammeter. Okay, and in the case of an ammeter, we define one quantity called the current sensitivity. Current sensitivity is nothing but deflection per unit current is called current sensitivity of the galvanometer. We can write the equation phi is equal to BAN by K. Of course, I missed it here. I. So phi by I is going to be BAN by K. Phi by I is equal to BAN by K. This is the deflection per unit current. It is called the current sensitivity. Deflection per unit current is more, we say that the galvanometer is more sensitive. It can deflect more for the unit current. It depends on the magnetic field, area of the coil, number of turns, and K is the torsional constant of the hairspring as discussed yesterday. Okay, so you can change this current sensitivity. Generally, the field, area, and K are constants for a what you call galvanometer, and the number of turns can be changed. More the number of turns, we have more current sensitivity. More number of turns, more current sensitivity. That's how we can change the current sensitivity also. Okay, and this is about the ammeter, children. Few points I want to tell about the ammeter is that it measures the current, it is always connected in series, and the resistance of the ideal what you call ammeter, because if you observe here the small resistance we connected now in parallel. For an ideal ammeter, this resistance is going to be 0. So one point to remember is that the resistance of an ideal ammeter is 0. Okay, and this is about an ammeter and its current sensitivity also. So children, in a way we are revising some points and also doing some terms regarding in the same chapter only what we have done earlier. And we, of course, this topic is connected to the previous, but it's a new one. It's a voltmeter. How can a galvanometer be converted to voltmeter? Means galvanometer can be converted to voltmeter by connecting a high resistance R. This is a high resistance R in series with the galvanometer of resistance Rg. This one. This is the galvanometer of resistance Rg. Okay, and what you call it is if it is having a certain resistance, if it draws some current, again it may get damage. So we have to minimize the current which can pass through this galvanometer. So I connect a very high resistance in series with the galvanometer. In series with the galvanometer, so that it can be, the current can be reduced through this. The current can be reduced through this, and the galvanometer can be protected. And these 2 points should be connected to 2 points across which we want to measure the potential difference. Across this, we want to measure the potential difference. And that means it should be connected in parallel. And for an ideal voltmeter, this resistance is going to be infinity, because then only it won't draw any current. It's an ideal case, of course. Practically, we get nearer to the ideal case by making it as high as possible. As high as possible. Okay, so this way we can convert a galvanometer into a voltmeter. Ideal voltmeter has infinite resistance. Practically we have a very high resistance in series. So this is how the concept of the voltmeter. Next is, as we generally do in physics, we have developed an equation which makes things simple. Like that equation is, supposing that if Ig is the current through the galvanometer, then total potential difference is equal to Ig into Rg plus R, where R is the high series resistance, this is the galvanometer resistance, this is the current which is allowed through the galvanometer. Now, if you know these three, you can know the potential difference across the galvanometer point which you fix up, and thus it is the potential difference across the resistor which you are measuring externally. So, from these equations, V by Ig minus Rg will give you the resistance of the series resistance which you have to attach to the galvanometer to convert into voltmeter. So these quantities we have to know. Out of these four quantities, three will be given, the fourth is to be calculated. If two are given, there are some clues to find the third one. Then it's going to be a difficult problem as such. Like it generally termed as difficult question, where indirectly they ask. But still the clues are given, so we can say that a difficult question is made up of few simple questions. And a simple question has only one question. So that's how we can differentiate. So this is about the voltmeter, children. This is about the voltmeter, and I want to again repeat that it is the it measures potential difference, and it measures the potential difference, and it is always connected in parallel, and the resistance of the ideal voltmeter is infinity. These points we've discussed, and about the ammeter also we have seen. We'll see some application based on that. Of course, before going to that, I want to discuss about this one another topic called the voltage sensitivity. Before I go for applications, just like I defined current sensitivity, voltage sensitivity is the deflection per unit voltage is called the voltage sensitivity. From the earlier equation, we have seen that phi by I is equal to BAN by K from the deflection equations, the moving coil galvanometer. Now I divide this equation by R, resistance, and here also R. So I get this IR is voltage now. So this will become IR becomes voltage V, and the right side of the equation becomes BAN by KR, where R is the resistance, K is the torsional constant, and N is the number of turns, and A is the area, and B is the magnetic field. Now, if you want to increase the voltage sensitivity by increasing the number of turns, it may not be possible, because number of turns increases, the resistance also increases. Thereby, the voltage sensitivity might remain constant. So we state one thing. This was a board examination question. So though it's simple one, see the detailed attention should be paid that increasing the current sensitivity may not increase the voltage sensitivity. Okay, so that's what it is about the voltage sensitivity. Okay, children, and this is about the voltmeter and ammeter current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity. Okay, now we would like to like see some applications. Um, some applications we will see in basically what we have done. The mainly will focus on this ammeter and voltmeter. So there is one what do you call a circuit here. In the circuit, the current is to be measured. What is the value of the current if this ammeter is a galvanometer? It's only a galvanometer with a resistance of 60 ohms. Okay, what is this? What do you call current through this? So if you can see this, current is voltage by resistance. The resistance is 60 ohm galvanometer, 3 ohms in the circuit. So 3 by 63 is equal to 0.048 ampere is the measured current by that particular ammeter, which is a galvanometer only. So it shows 0.04 ampere. Actually, we know theoretically if you have 3 volts and 3 ohms, the current has to be 1 ampere. So, B part, if you can focus now. Now, this galvanometer is converted to an ammeter by a shunt resistance of 0.02 ohms. Okay, 0.02 ohms is the resistance connected to this ammeter to convert to the galvanometer to convert it into an ammeter. Then what is going to happen, we will see. Now resistance of the ammeter is given by 1 by R parallel is equal to 1 by 60 plus 1 by 0.02. This after taking LCM and you can work out, that's nearly 50 it comes. So R parallel is a reciprocal of 50 is equal to 0.02 ohms. Now this total resistance is 3.02 ohms. Thus the current is 3 by 3.02, that comes nearly 0.99 ampere. This is also approximate. It may be little less than that, but not more than 0.02. So this is the resistance we get, or less. The current is 0.99 or more. It's better than this. Okay, so approximately we are taking 0.99 ampere. So it is nearer to the 1 ampere what you call what we have we must ideally get. Okay, so this is suppose this ammeter is made an ideal ammeter with zero resistance, no resistance only. It measures the current. It's an ideal ammeter. Then the current is going to be the voltage divided by the resistance, which is going to be the 3 by 3 1 ampere, which is the theoretical value also. So theoretically value you get, practically also you require ideal ammeter. Ideally though it's not possible, so we connect, at least practically we can measure it as 0.9 and it's okay, it's matching. But this is not okay. 0.048 ampere for 1 ampere. So we make this what you call galvanometer into an ammeter by connecting a shunt. This is the what you call requirement. This is the way we convert an ammeter into a galvanometer into an ammeter by connecting a shunt. Is it clear, children? You have to go through this. Again, I will be sending you a handout based on what we have done, and you got to read the text and make the notes of it. And also we'll be doing the you can start doing the exercise questions which have been given. Anyway, I'll be discussing a few important ones in the next class. Thank you.